20 history facts that make you say, what the fuck? In 1386, a pig was tried in Falaise, France, for killing a child. The pig was dressed in human clothes, found guilty of the crime and executed by hanging, as was customary for human criminals. This event exemplifies the bizarre and anthropocentric justice practices of the Middle Ages. The Guinness Book of World Records was created to settle pub arguments. Sir Hugh Beaver, managing director of Guinness Breweries, conceived the idea in the early 1950s. After a debate about the fastest game bird in Europe, he realized that a book providing answers to such questions could be popular. The first edition was published in 1955 and became a bestseller. Tutankhamun, the famous Egyptian pharaoh, was born around 1341 BC. Genetic studies of his mummified remains revealed that his parents were siblings. This practice of inbreeding was common among Egyptian royalty to preserve the divine bloodline, but often led to genetic disorders. In ancient Rome, it was a standard practice to sell urine collected from public urinals. Urine was used for its ammonia content, which was valuable in laundering and tanning leather. The Roman Emperor Vespasian even imposed a tax on the trade of this liquid gold. In the 18th century, Catherine the Great of Russia had a military regiment of 50,000 men solely to march around her palace for her entertainment. This extravagant display was part of Catherine's efforts to project power and control. The group, known as the Preobrazhensky Regiment, was one of the oldest and most prestigious units in the Russian army, reflecting Catherine's emphasis on military strength. The CIA once used cats in an attempt to spy on the Kremlin and Soviet embassies. The project, named Acoustic Kitty, involved implanting microphones and transmitters in cats. The first mission ended in failure when the cat was hit by a car, leading to the abandonment of the project. In the 1800s, dentures were often made from the teeth of deceased soldiers. Known as Waterloo teeth, these dentures were in high demand after the Battle of Waterloo. The teeth were collected from the battlefield and used to create dental prosthetics, reflecting the macabre and practical solutions of the time. The shortest reign of a pope lasted only 13 days. Pope Urban VII, elected in September 1590, succumbed to malaria before he could be crowned. His brief papacy highlights the precarious nature of life and leadership in the Renaissance era, marked by disease and political instability. During World War II, British tanks were equipped with tea-making facilities. Known as the boiling vessel, this device allowed tank crews to make tea and warm food without leaving their vehicles. This innovation was crucial for morale and efficiency, reflecting the British emphasis on tea even during warfare. The Roman Emperor Elagabalus was so eccentric that he would release snakes into the audience during gladiator matches. His reign was marked by scandal and decadence, and his actions, such as releasing snakes, were intended to shock and entertain. During World War II, British intelligence created a fake army using inflatable tanks and trucks. Operation Fortitude was a deception campaign to mislead the Germans about the location of the D-Day invasion. Inflatable tanks, trucks, and fake radio traffic created the illusion of a large force in southeast England, diverting German attention from Normandy. In 1942, Coco Chanel was a Nazi spy. Known as Agent F7124, Chanel collaborated with the Nazi intelligence service, the Abwehr, during the German occupation of France. Her involvement remains a controversial and lesser-known aspect of her life and career. There was a time when playing cards were used as currency in French Canada due to a shortage of coins. In the 17th and 18th centuries, French colonial authorities issued playing cards as a form of emergency money. These cards were stamped with official seals and used for transactions, demonstrating the resourcefulness of colonial administrations in times of scarcity. In 1958, a nuclear bomb was accidentally dropped over South Carolina. A B-47 bomber accidentally released a Mark 6 nuclear bomb near Mars Bluff, South Carolina. Fortunately, the bomb's nuclear core was not installed, and only the conventional explosives detonated, causing property damage but no fatalities. In 1938, Time magazine named Adolf Hitler as its Man of the Year. The designation was not an endorsement, but recognition of Hitler's significant impact on world events. This choice remains controversial, reflecting the magazine's approach to highlighting influential figures, regardless of their moral standing. In the early 20th century, German scientists used X-rays to determine the density of cheese. This method helped producers assess the quality of cheese without cutting it open. The use of advanced technology in food production reflects early scientific approaches to quality control in the food industry. In 1838, a bizarre duel was fought between two Frenchmen in balloons over Paris. The duelists, Monsieur de Grandpré and Monsieur Le Pic, took to the skies in hot air balloons to settle a romantic dispute. Le Pic's balloon was shot down, leading to his death. This aerial duel was one of the strangest manifestations of honor culture in history. In the 19th century, a Russian scientist proposed a space elevator to access outer space. Konstantin Tsiolkovsky, inspired by the Eiffel Tower, conceptualized a tower reaching from Earth to geostationary orbit. While technologically unfeasible at the time, his idea laid the groundwork for modern space elevator research, highlighting his visionary contributions to space exploration. The world's oldest known "your mom" joke is around 3,500 years old. An ancient Babylonian tablet contains a riddle with the punchline being a disparaging remark about someone's mother. This shows that humor, including the genre of "your mom" jokes, has been a part of human culture for millennia. In the 19th century, it was legal to mail children in the United States. The U.S. Postal Service's Parcel Post Service, introduced in 1913, allowed the mailing of large packages, including children. Families would send their children to relatives, paying the postal rate based on the child's weight. This loophole was quickly closed after gaining public attention. If you made it to the end of the video, make sure you subscribe and like this page. See you next time on Historical Stuffing.